CNBC TV18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.
Our top story, 8 core industries grow 6.7% in November, the fastest pace in 5 months, but the government hits nearly 99% of its full-year budget estimate in the first 8 months of this fiscal year, while we discuss fiscal deficit.
The best show in 5 years. Dalal Street ends 2014 on a high. All major indices hit their record highs this year, rising by a whopping 30%.
Crude prices hit new record lows. Brent briefly slips below $56 a barrel. WTI and NYMEX under $53 a barrel.
The telecom regulator recommends a 19% lower reserve price for pan-India 3G spectrum from the last auctions in 2010. Proposes a base price of just over 2,700 crore rupees for the 2100 megahertz spectrum band.
The government kickstarts reforms in PSU banks. For the first time, the centre splits the post of chairman and managing director, names MD and CEO for 4 banks.
The website of Indian Oil Corporation is hacked allegedly by a Turkish group. The government manages to restore the site in a few hours.
NTPC sets the wheels in motion to help the government's 2019 solar capacity target. Will help in setting up 15,000 megawatts of solar power.
Tata Group's Vision 2025 is on track, says Cyrus Mistry in a New Year message to his staff. Also wants the group to embrace new technologies as he strikes an optimistic note about 2015.
New Year resolution.
I asked Sharad what my resolution should be, and he said, lose weight.
Lose some weight. To lose some weight.
Eat less junk food.
Lose weight.
I will exercise.
To lose weight.
To reduce my belly.
2015 end of year, I'm definitely celebrating my holidays. But I haven't made one yet.
Get healthy. Take more holidays. No, I have no resolution. No, don't record this.
No resolutions this New Year.
Keep a cleaner desk
And to irritate us less.
My New Year resolution is to go to at least one party and not pass out this time.
यार सोचने दो थोड़ा.
कुछ नहीं is to complete my 2014 New Year resolution.
Dance at a nightclub in Vegas.
काम करूँ थोड़ा सा.
The resolution is and resolution will. खाओ पियो ऐश करो मित्रों, दिल पर किसे दर्द खाए ना. And of course, spending more time with the family.
Well, that's a glimpse into just how resolute we folks at CNBC TV18 really are. I promise I'm going to take more vacation. I will not be here 365 days from now anchoring.
Well, good luck with that. Great start to the new year on that note. But we're all going to lose weight. We'll be eating healthy. So much more, of course, except Varinder, as you saw there. Hello and welcome to India Business Hour. I am Surbhi Upadhyay and joining me is Naitara Rai.
And let's get straight down to business. Let's tell you how the markets performed. They ended 2014 on a very positive note. Both the major indices ended the day with healthy gains, and that's despite a range-bound session. Nifty up over 30 points, inching closer to that 8,300 mark. Sensex ended a whisker away from 27,500, and just like it has been all through 2014, mid-caps had outperformed the blue chips, gaining nearly 1%. So record high, 30% gains, the best performance in 5 years. 2014 has been a remarkable year for equities. Varinder Bansal wraps up the year that was.
Well, what a year it has been. Clearly, this is the best performance Indian markets have seen in the last 5 years. Where that government change which happened, which helped the markets, or the oil fall, you can put your finger on. But MSCI India has been the third best performing market in the world, in 2014. Last year it was 11, so huge jump seen over there. BSE Sensex, Nifty, BSE Midcap indices reached all-time high in 2014. BSE small cap rose to 7-year high. It's still down nearly 20% if you compare to 2008 highs, but that was 7-year high for BSE small cap index. If you just see BSE mid cap index and small cap index, they've clearly outperformed Sensex. While Sensex and Nifty are up nearly 30%, but the small cap index has moved 67% in 2014. Mid cap index is up nearly 52.5%. And if you're watching out for stocks, over 85% of BSE 500 stocks are trading higher than what they were trading last year. Well, not only that, as I said, we were helped by oil also, which is trading at 5.5-year low, and gold, which is trading at 4.5-year low in USD dollar terms. If you're watching out for sectors, 5 MACS sectors were trading at all-time high, this year. Consumer discretionary, staples, financials, healthcare, technology. It was not a good year for telecom stocks, which were trading in the red. But clearly, if you just watch out for Bank Nifty or the financials, Bank Nifty is up 64% in 2014, consumer durables 62%, and autos up nearly 56%. Not only that, the 10-year bond yields were to 7.83%, which is the lowest level seen in July 2013. FI's flow has been very strong, especially if you just see the debt market. They stood at $26 billion, which is the highest ever what they have seen. Also, good news, the domestic institutional investors were back and they were putting in money after a gap of nearly 3 years. If you're watching out for stocks, focusing only on Nifty, as I said, banking or the financial stocks have been big gainers this year. You can't put your finger on, but Axis Bank has been one of the strongest stocks in Nifty, up 91%, followed by IndusInd Bank, PNB, SBI, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Bank of Baroda. All these stocks have gained anywhere between 64% to 91%. Maruti again has been very strong, up 91%, accompanying Axis Bank. BPCL, Anuj has been pointing out, that has been one of the best stocks of 2014 in oil and marketing companies. Mid pharma, it has been Cipla and Lupin, which have gained anywhere between 45% to 55%. L&T up 40%, ITC up nearly 14.5%. Some of the Nifty losers in 2014, you have to blame call auctions. Jindal Steel is down 45%. K in India, of course, dragging with that oil price, down 26%. DLF and many stories, that stock is down 21%, so underperforming over there. And 2 Tata companies, Tata Power and Tata Steel, down nearly 7.5%. But you can't take it away. It has been a fabulous year for most of the equity investors.
All right, thanks Varinder so much for that. Well, it's not just the equity markets. The rupees also signed off 2014 on a pretty firm note. In fact, today, towards the close, it finally ended on a pretty high level. We had the final closing coming in at 63.03, as a lot of long dollar positions were being unwound as the year also winds down. January is expected to be traditionally stronger for the Indian currency. Antara?
So that's how the currency markets did. Now let's tell you about some macroeconomic news that had come out on New Year's Eve. The 8-core sector grew by a robust 6.7%. It's the fastest growth in 5 months. This compares with a fairly good 6.3% growth in the core sector in October. Lata Venkatesh now joining us to analyze the core sector data that had come out. Lata, a great way to end the year.
Oh, it's absolutely positive. No two ways about it, because this is the second consecutive month when we have got a good core sector number. The 8 important sectors have grown by 6.7% in November. They grew by 6.3% in October. And 6.7% is the best performance we have put in since June. So it is the best in 5 months that we have got. The breakup of the 8 sectors is even more encouraging. Coal, cement, electricity are the best performing sectors. Coal is up 14.5% year on year, and 10% over the month. That is, November over October is up 10%, which is very good. Likewise, cement is up 11.3% year on year, and even October was a good month. This is 2.6% over October. That's a great performance. Electricity likewise is up, but electricity has been doing well for the past many months. Electricity is a little less month on month, but the year on year tick is not bad at all at double digits, 10.2%. Refinery products as well is up to about 8.1%. Steel is modest, just 1.3% higher. And the poor performance comes in from fertilizers, which is 2.3%. Crude oil minus 0.1 and natural gas minus 2.9. But then gas production, as we know, because of the problems in KG Basin, have been contracting for the better part. Given this kind of a robust performance, 6.7, we should expect a very strong rebound in IIP. Now, of course, the October 6.3 did not translate to a very good IIP number. Remember, Indian industrial output in October was minus 4%. But that's because of, almost 10 days of holidays in the month of October. The month of November, there is definitely going to be a rebound in the industrial output numbers. We got decent car sales numbers as well. So chances are with this kind of an excellent core sector number, we are going to see the last calendar quarter of 2014 put in a decent industrial growth performance.
All right, so that was good news coming in as far as core sector data is concerned, but not so good news coming in on the fiscal deficit front. The government's ambitious 4.1% fiscal deficit target is under serious threat. Fiscal deficit at 5.25 lakh crore rupees as of November end almost touched 99% of the full year target of 5.31 lakh crore rupees. This is as per the data that was released by the Controller General of Accounts this evening. The fiscal deficit during April to November period was 98.9% of the 2014-15 estimates, mainly because of subdued revenue realization. The deficit was 93.9% during the same period last year. Net tax receipts were at 42.3% of the 2014-15 estimates. Meanwhile, total spending during the period came in at roughly 60%, or 59.8% to be specific. This is of the 2014-15 estimates. The government says it's committed to restricting the fiscal deficit at 4.1% of GDP during the current financial year, but market experts say that that will now very heavily depend on successful auctions in the telecom space and also a successful divestment drive.
And Sylvie, the government has also kick-started a process to reform India's public sector banks. The post of the chairman and managing director for 4 PSU banks has been split. So you have R. Koteshwaran being appointed as the MD and CEO of Indian Overseas Bank. He was previously the executive director at Bank of India. Animesh Chauhan is the new MD and CEO of Oriental Bank of Commerce. P. Srinivas from Bank of Baroda has been identified as the person to take over at the United Bank of India, while Punjab and Sindh Banks. K.K. Sansi is the new MD and CEO of Vijaya Bank. A finance ministry statement said, in a significant departure from the past, the government of India has decided to now separate the post of chairman and MD and CEO. The procedure for selection of part-time chairman would be announced shortly. And let's not forget, Sylvie, Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, just recently announced there is going to be a retreat to figure out the reform roadmap for the PSU bank that's going to be taking place in Pune. The finance minister, prime minister, the RBI governor will all be there, and all the heads of the banks are not going to travel in a plane. They're going to travel together in a Volvo bus. Now, lower the reserve price of spectrum to ensure greater participation in the auctions. That's the recommendation Telecom regulator TRAI has made to the government. Regulator has suggested the reserve price of 3G spectrum be cut by at least 19%. But as CNBC TV18's Malvika Jain reports, even this has failed to get a smile from many players.
Vodafone, Bharti Airtel, Idea, Systema, pretty much every telecom player in the country has been saying that the current reserve price for 3G spectrum makes participating in the upcoming auctions unviable. And telecom regulator TRAI has heeded this call for help. It has recommended that the per megahertz base price for pan-India 3G spectrum be set 19% lower than the current price of 2,720 crore rupees. But telecom industry watchers say even this lower price may not get the desired participation.
The price is high. If you look at the clearance price of 2010, it was about 3,300 crores pan-India. And for 3G, and I think we all know that there was a lot of emotional bidding which had gone in 2010, as a result of which the industry went into a bit of a debt crisis. There was almost $22 billion of debt which was raised. So I think at this stage where the industry already has got debt of almost 2,20,000 crores, putting in a reserve price which is maybe 10% or 15% lower than the clearance price of 2010 is on the higher side.
But TRAI's recommendations go beyond just a lower reserve price. It has recommended that DoT put additional 15 megahertz of spectrum it has obtained from Defence Services on auction, saying, and I quote, "The authority would like to re-emphasize that the 15 megahertz of spectrum in the 2100 megahertz spectrum being vacated by Ministry of Defence by swapping spectrum in the 1900 megahertz band spectrum should be auctioned in view of the in-principle agreement reached with MOD, even if it is not available immediately. This is because actual assignments do not have to be made immediately. These can be carried out after the auctions once a release of spectrum is cleared by MOD." Unquote. It is also suggested that all the 3G spectrum surrendered by Estel in Himachal Pradesh, Bihar and Odisha go under the hammer. These recommendations will now be taken up by the Telecom Commission for further deliberation. In New Delhi, Malvika Jain.
All right, now let's take a look at some of the other news that has made headlines. The Indian Oil Corporation's website has allegedly been hacked by Turkish group Türk Güvenlik Ligi. This is the same group that has previously hacked websites of NATO, Interpol, NASA and the Pentagon. The government has now restored the IOC website. If you're expecting a fuel price cut in the new year, you may have to temper down those expectations. The Indian Oil Corporation believes that their inventory losses are huge and they're yet to factor that in so far.
Both the products are deregulated, and it depends on where we are positioned. You must appreciate that what you read in the paper is not a true reflection of over recovery with the oil companies, because the inventory losses what we are having are huge, which we have not factored so far. So it's so you can't predict that the prices are going to reduce or it's to go up. And let us see how the situation warrants and how the competition works.
From oil to power, NTPC has set the wheels in motion to help meet the government's 2019 solar capacity target. CNBC TV18 learns that the company plans to facilitate 15,000 megawatt solar grid capacity by FY19. This facility will come up under the National Solar Mission. The government will formulate rules and bid methods for the e-bids for solar power, and NTPC will be the nodal agency for this.
Jindal Steel and Power, along with its subsidiary Jindal Power, has deposited 3,089 crore rupees as additional levy to the government. This is for the coal block cancellation and as per the Supreme Court direction. This will clear the way for the two firms to participate in the upcoming auctions of coal mines. And it seems as if the Finance Ministry is not going to be extending the excise duty concessions on automobiles and consumer durables. The interim budget of former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram had reduced the excise duty on autos and consumer durables. The SOPs were given till June 30th. In that month, the current Finance Minister Arun Jaitley had decided to extend the concessions by 6 months to 31st of December. No word yet on whether it's going to be extended or withdrawn. LIC Housing Finance has taken possession of Orbit Corporation's property in Lower Parade of Mumbai after it defaulted on a loan. Orbit Corporation has taken a loan of 95 crore rupees. The company's MD Purjit Agarwal and Chairman Ravikaran Agarwal were guarantors for that loan.
Market regulator SEBI has barred 8 companies from the markets for 10 years in the CALS Refineries Global Depository Receipts issue. SEBI in its final order also asked Gagan Rastogi and Asiatex Enterprises to repay unlawful gains of $92 million along with an interest of 6% per annum. All right, coming up after the break, Tata's Group's Vision 2025 is on track, says Cyrus Mistry in a New Year message to his staff. He also wants the group to embrace new technologies.
CNBC TV18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.